female body is capable of many, many different types of orgasm. For example, a woman can have an orgasm right at the head of the clitoris. But what most people don't know is she can actually also have an orgasm deep in her body with her clitoris. That the clitoris has roots that go deep inside the body. So from internal stimulation, she can also have a different type of clitoral orgasm that lies deep at the root. This type of orgasm is the orgasm that I think most women are familiar with, having this clitoral type of orgasm, which I equate a lot to a male ejaculation. Sometimes we often feel like, okay, I'm done with sex once we've had that type of orgasm. Although women can have many clitoral orgasms in a row, having those multiple orgasm experiences, there's still a drop. There's still something that happens in the body where her body produces a lot of prolactin, which sort of causes this fall in sexual excitement or sexual energy. So another orgasm that they may want to experience, if they're feeling that drop, is a deep vaginal orgasm. So inside the vagina, there's also a lot of possibilities for orgasm, one being a G-spot orgasm. Now from the G-spot, you can have two different types of orgasms. From the G-spot, there's an orgasm with ejaculation. The G-spot is actually a prostate gland, and there is something called female ejaculate or ejaculate that comes from the female prostate. So working with this and massaging on this can actually cause her to have an ejaculation. She can also have an orgasm without ejaculation from the G-spot. And she can have an ejaculation without an orgasm. I know someone who can just ejaculate, you barely touch that area of her body, and she can just ejaculate, and there's no orgasmic feeling with it whatsoever. But there's that response that happens in the body. Deeper in the vagina, there's another spot called the A spot, which some speculate is actually part of the G-spot that's just split off. And it's about 3 to 4 inches in, and you can massage on that. And that spot will have another orgasm that feels even deeper in the body. Now, even deeper in is the cervix. The cervix also has possibility of orgasm, and that the whole area is very sensitive. So massaging lightly there can cause that type of orgasm. And again, orgasm is this muscular contraction. So there's this involuntary reaction in the body. There's a build of tension, which is that sympathetic nervous system, and the parasympathetic coming in, which is that relaxation, that surrender. And yet another even deeper orgasm is an orgasm in the uterus itself. I would have these orgasms quite often when I was playing with the idea of creating a child. Something about that and having my partner's hand on my womb really created these types of orgasms that would spread through my entire lower belly. So it was that feeling, that safety, that really deep connection that created that type of orgasm in my body, of that uterine contraction, that really deep, intense, incredibly good orgasm. Another orgasm, we can go on and on with female orgasms, there's so many different types, is in the urethra. So the urethra is right above the vaginal opening, and massaging the urethra around that, some women are highly, highly orgasmic in that area, and the whole urethra, those muscles all around it start contracting involuntarily. So there's this really great orgasm that can happen there. Then we have combined orgasms. So we can have a combined clitoral and G-spot orgasm together. You can have a urethral and a G-spot orgasm with an ejaculation. So we have all these different possibilities of also combining all of these different types of orgasms. Women can also have a G-spot orgasm through the anus. So this is a place that we don't often think about, but there's a very thin wall between the anus and the vagina. So when you're doing any type of anal work or anal sex or anal massage, that you can actually hit the G-spot and cause her to have an orgasm there. Then there's an anal orgasm that happens without any G-spot stimulation. It just comes from really intense pleasure, repetitive motion, and really taking care to warm up those tissues, really taking a long time, expanded play. There's this sense of surrender that comes, and then a euphoric release that happens in that type of orgasm in the anus. So if you move out from the anus, now we've had all these different types of orgasms in the genital area and anal area. You can actually have orgasms in any number of your erogenous areas. For example, really awakening the crook of the elbow, or the wrist, the edge of the pinky finger. All of these zones are orgasmic zones, and all of these places you can actually feel that orgasm happening, that total state of full body awareness where you become so sensitive, especially if you've had one of the other types of orgasms, that your whole body becomes this sort of erogenous playground where orgasm is possible anywhere. So that full body orgasm where you're feeling like tingling all over, you're feeling just this euphoric state where you start to become orgasmic as opposed to just having an orgasm. So becoming orgasmic means that you're staying in orgasm for prolonged periods of time. You're not just having that couple of second orgasm. Another thing that I think comes easier to women than men is an orgasm that in Tantra we call kriya. A kriya is like a wave-like motion that starts moving through the body. A lot of times women will just start shaking, their body starts shaking, their legs start trembling, everything in their body starts trembling, and that's that kriyatic energy. Kriya means action, so it's this action that starts happening in the body. And you want to let that move, really let that expand and move throughout the body. Another type that I think women find easy is having an emotional orgasm. So sometimes women may cry. They have this feeling, and it's called a crygasm or a laughgasm, where you start crying, you just have this emotion well up and you can't stop it, and tears start coming. A lot of times what men do when that happens is they stop, they think something's wrong, but what I really encourage couples to do is move through those types of orgasms. So if she is crying, to ask her what she needs. Does she need you to keep going, or does she want you to stop and hold? But that there's nothing wrong. It's just that type of orgasm. It's another type of release that's happening. She may start laughing maniacally or laughing and crying at the same time. I had one of the best orgasms ever when I was having a laugh-cry orgasm, and I would actually cry on the inhale and laugh on the exhale. So I was doing like, and it looked completely crazy, but it left me in an altered state of consciousness for hours. Even the next day, I was still in this totally orgasmic, blissed out space because I had all this sexual just release happen that was unlike anything ever that I ever experienced before. It came from really intense thrusting that then was moved up through my body and just felt like it just came out my eyes and out my mouth, and the sound was very loud. So having those explosive orgasms, knowing that that's totally okay, and that that's actually something that a lot of people hold back. They actually feel, a lot of women feel tears or feel laughter coming. So I really encourage you to let those happen. So there's endless possibilities of orgasm in the female body, and really learning and allowing yourself to go there. Letting your partner know, hey, I'm exploring different types of orgasms. Why don't we try this? Why don't we try that? And this can actually expand your state of mind, which expands the state of your body. And the more you can pay attention to all these little things happening, for example, goosebumps. Goosebumps are a form of erection. The hair follicle stands up because of muscular contraction at the base. That is a sign of high arousal, a sign of your body becoming full body orgasmic. So noticing all these little things that are happening in the body. And as you notice them more and more and more, you become more awakened. So I really invite you to awaken. How many orgasms can you have tonight?